Be strong and get healthy. Stretch. Feel great about yourself and have some fun. It's time for you. Fitness is the key to your future. Don't get locked out. Take the challenge. Commit to be fit. Thanks for joining me today on Commit to be Fit. I'm Susie Smith. I have a special guest here today who is a cancer survivor. And after her battle with cancer, she did something really unique and reached out to a lot of people. And she is just a role model and has inspired many people. So I'd like to introduce to you my guest today, who is a local radio personality right here in Pittsburgh. I'd like to introduce Bonnie Diver. Hi, Bonnie.
Susie. Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show.
It's great.
So, Bonnie, let's tell people a little bit about yourself. What do you do and what brings you here today?
Okay. Well, how much time do you have? Well, it's kind of interesting. I have a long story, but I'll try to keep it, to 30 minutes if I can.
Okay.
I'm originally from Columbus, Ohio area, and I've done radio pretty much all my life. And when I lost it in radio, you lose your job all the time. It's just one of those things. When I hear about people that are working more than 10 years at one position, I think,
really?
Wow, that's amazing.
Wow.
So in radio, we have format changes, we have ownership changes, and so I'd lost my job in Columbus working at a radio station, and Pittsburgh called me up and said they wanted me to come to work at 3WS.
Oh, 3WS. I remember when you were on 3WS.
Yeah, I know. And everybody remembers those
Yeah.
days, and that was, over 20 years ago.
Wow.
And I didn't even know how to spell Pittsburgh, so I was like, I don't want to go to Pittsburgh.
Well, did you leave the H off?
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. Yeah,
Oh.
and so I came over here. They made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and so we drove over. We made the move, and here we are.
Wow.
And he said, we're not going to stay here long. However, we found out that was not our plan. That was a plan that God had for us.
Isn't it funny how you are placed where you're supposed to be?
Right, yeah, kicking and screaming. We were here. We made it. And so we were here. We worked for 3WS, and it ended up being a place where we really loved, and we call Pittsburgh our home now, and I just can't imagine being anywhere else.
Do you like the hills? I know you said
I do.
You came from Ohio and
Yeah, land of the flat. And it's so
Yeah.
funny when I go back to visit my family or friends now, you can see the whole horizon. And I
Oh.
say, wow, there's sky there, and it's just all in between instead of being all chopped up. It's really,
Not a hill.
really funny. You don't realize that.
Oh.
So I do love Pittsburgh, and I love the hills, and I love the people, and it's just been a really great home for us.
Oh,
and just been able to find my niche, I guess. And so being in radio, we were sort of...
you're on KDKA now?
I am on KD now. I do traffic now for the CBS station, so I'm on KDK AM in the afternoons, and then I do traffic also in the midday, or like drive time, I guess, for Y108, Star 100.7, and 93.7 The Fan. So I'm flipping a switch, and I'm always on a different station.
You're busy. You're a busy
I
lady.
am busy.
Well, the reason, I wanted you on the show today, I've read bits and pieces about your story and your story of cancer and how you got through it and what you did for the community afterwards. But I felt so inspired, and I thought, there's going to be somebody that really needs to hear your story
Absolutely.
and really needs a little boost today. So
Yep.
how did you ever find out that you had cancer? I mean, how did that come about?
Well, I was out riding my horse, as I do most days, and was going to a jump, and for some reason he put on the brakes, and I went over his head and fell, and I broke my shoulder blade. Oh, it's terrible. And so as I was going through that process with the shoulder blade being broken and checking out all the bumps and bruises that I had along the way, I discovered that I had a lump on the side of my breast. And so all women know that is one of those things you say, the lights go off. Oh my gosh, a lump on the side of my breast. How can this be cancer? And the big thing was I was 46, and I'd been having a mammogram faithfully since I was 40 every year, and I was still within my year of my time for screening. So I thought, how could this possibly be cancer? It didn't show up on the last mammogram, which was, maybe 8 months earlier. And so I went in to see the doctor again about the shoulder blade, and I said, what about this lump? What do you think? And he said, let's go to get it checked out. And so I had all the testing done, and they came back and they said, yes, you do have cancer.
Oh.
So
How did
that
you
was,
feel?
oh, dag, that was, I'll never forget that. When your knees buckle, I was at work, I was at the radio station, I grabbed somebody and I said, I have cancer. And it was just like, I just couldn't believe it.
Had you ever fallen off your horse like that before?
When you have a horse, it's not if, it's when.
Oh, it's when, okay.
You always fall off your horse,
Yeah.
But you hope you get back on, that it's not a bad fall. And so,
But do you think that fall was on purpose?
Instrumental, yeah, because I was not paying attention. And so the message became, and as I was on the radio, I talked about it. As I was going through this, I thought, I want people to know what's going on. So the interesting thing was, when they did the testing at that time when we found the lump from the broken shoulder, I said, they found it in biopsy and the sonogram, they saw it, and they also did a mammogram at the time. And I said, what did the mammogram see? And they said, it didn't show up on the mammogram. Now, that's pretty scary to be saying that, I've been relying on my mammogram for 6 years to tell me that I have cancer or not. So here's the message. So I don't want to say mammograms are bad, but I want to say you have to do a mammogram as well as a self-exam.
So a lot of women, I don't think, do self-exams.
Exactly. I did not.
Oh, you didn't before?
No. I thought, well, I'm getting my mammogram. I'm okay. And I just go on with my life and everything's fine. However, you find out that, and I found out sort of, the extra, the cliff note to getting tested, if you're under 50 years old or premenopausal, now, this is very important for everyone to know. If you're premenopausal, you must do a self-exam as well as a mammogram, because your breasts are a different type of tissue. It's dense breast, and so it's harder for the mammogram to see through the dense breast tissue. When you get older, when you get postmenopausal, it changed to more of a fatty tissue, and I always call that retired breast.
Oh, retired.
So when your breasts are retired, it's easier for the mammogram to see through that.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know. And so
I never knew that.
And so now, and actually now in the state of Pennsylvania, they just have a law to let people know that you get a card sometimes when you get your mammogram, you have dense breast. And then women are saying, well, what does that mean? So what that means is you're younger, you need to do a self-exam because you have
every
dense
month.
Breast. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Every month.
Just get in the shower and check it out.
Just check.
Absolutely.
And it's so easy. You can just probably get on the computer, go to the Cancer Society, and anywhere on the computer you'll be able to see a schematic on how to properly do a breast check.
Just check it out.
Just check. Just see if you've got a lump.
Just pay attention. When you're in the shower, pay attention. If there's something that doesn't seem right, then call your doctor.
So after you went through, did you go through chemo and
went through the whole 9
radiation
yards.
and everything, and did your
and
your hair fell out?
Well, yeah, I mean, 14 to 15 days after the first chemotherapy treatment, and that was very difficult. And a lot of women will say to me, it's almost more difficult to know you're going to lose your hair than to be told you have cancer. It doesn't seem right, but I get it. I understand that. Hair is your identity. And it's also an outward sign. It means you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to work, you can't go to church or, be in a family picture or go to a wedding or anything without someone saying, what's wrong with you, if you don't have a wig.
Exactly.
If you don't have something that looks good for you. So it's such an outward, and just even look in the mirror. There are women who have told me, they put, and this is kind of extreme, but this is true, they put newspaper or paper over the mirrors because they don't want to get up and look in the mirror and see themselves like that.
Be reminded how sick.
Yeah, it's a reminder. Even if you're not thinking about it, there it is back at you, staring at you in the face. And so for me to make that appointment, to call a salon, I felt so vulnerable because I'm going to lose my hair. I'm going to need a wig. I'm going to walk in there. I don't know how to shop for a wig. I don't know how much this is going to cost, what it's going to look. It's going to look like Halloween, something that's just going to be awful.
And that's just something added on top of all the stress that you have from having cancer. So
absolutely, yeah.
So what is this little girl here for? What did you do that that I've never heard anyone do who went through cancer. You came out. Now, there's something that you said on the computer before I get too far ahead. You said you started out as a victim, and this really, I really liked what you said, and you were first a victim.
Right, and I hear a lot of people that will call me and say that they're victims of cancer, and I always want to say, we're going to turn this around. You are not a victim, you are a survivor because you're still here. And then when you get your game on and you start your march and you put things in your army to keep cancer out so it can't keep coming in and invading, then you get your army strong and you become a warrior. Yeah.
You're a warrior.
Absolutely, you're a warrior.
Exactly. You're fighting the fight.
It's my fight.
Yes.
And it's my walk. And cancer's not pushing me through this. It feels like that at first. But you have to say, you have to embrace chemo, which is very hard. Embrace chemo because chemo is your prize fighter. Chemo is who you hire to be your champion to fight cancer. Cancer's in the boxing ring, in you, saying, who's going to take me on? Who is going to fight me because I'm going to take this person down? And you say, no, you're not. I'm bringing chemo in. It's the toughest guy in town. I'm hiring him and my team of doctors and my team of warriors and my army, and we're going to fight this, send it into the boxing ring, round after round to knock down cancer. And so chemo is your champion, along with all the other things you put in your life. Now, what else can you do to fight cancer? You can drink great water. You can put lemon in your water. Great cancer fighter, great antioxidant. Garlic, onions, best cancer fighters out there. That's not hard. That's in your kitchen.
Yeah.
So you have garlic and onions, and that helps you to fight cancer. Amazing. If you have a man in your life, give him tomatoes. Tomatoes and garlics, great prostate cancer fighters. So we have things at our fingertips. And when you know that, it gives you power. And then your walk is your walk. You're walking in faith towards life. You're not running from cancer and fear. And so that was key to
I love
me.
that attitude that you're actually walking in faith. And I think that your faith is really strong from what I've read about you. And I think that the reason you had this accident was so that you could start this foundation that you started. And this just is so impressive that Bonnie, let's talk about.
So I'll tell you how this all
let's
started.
Let's talk about this.
This was, again, one of those aha moments I'll never forget. I was going out, as I talked on the radio about having cancer, what it's like to go through it, faith not fear, do a self-exam with a mammogram. That was sort of my thing, to fight cancer and to help other people to get through this better. And say, you're not alone, been there, done that, we're doing this, I told my surgeon I was doing this, and she said, you need to help women who need wigs because most wigs are not paid for in our state by our insurance companies.
Even though drugs are covered?
Other things can be covered for side effects because they say, oh, you're going to feel bad from chemo, so we'll give you steroids or we'll give you the Neulasta shot or all these other things that you get along the side because of the side effects of how cancer changes you. A wig, your hair loss is part of the cancer treatment. They do not prescribe a wig. They give you a prescription, but they won't pay for it.
They won't pay for it.
Unnecessary. So I said,
that's not cosmetic. That is so you can keep your sanity
Oh.
while you're going through.
Yeah, and let me tell you, the stories, the women that I've talked to. Well, but to get back to this, so I said, okay, this sounds like something I need to do. Help women to get a wig so I can, do this part. I can't cure cancer, but I can help in this way. So real easy. Hair Peace Charity, peace, P-E-A-C-E, peace.
Hair peace.
About the peace that you get from knowing that you're not alone, and from the faith that you can have because God is with you. I mean, He is with you. He is there. He doesn't turn away. He's there. And so we pray, we expect, we look, and then He'll answer. He will be faithful. So with that, that's part of the peace of Hair Peace. And so
this is wonderful that you actually help women by giving them a check that goes toward their wigs.
Right. I don't make the wigs. I don't do the hair cutting, and there are places that do that, and that's on our website if you need that information.
Yeah, we'll have your website at the end of the show for sure.
But we help to buy the wigs. So we give $150 to women in the 412 and 724 area codes, so that's 11 counties.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yeah, I didn't realize it's so big until I said, well, we'll keep it local. How are we going to do this? 412, 724, that's how I figured it out. But it was, it first started out with $100 for breast cancer, because that's what I had. More women started calling because they needed the assistance. We had the money that came in through donations, through events and fundraising, through salons, or people doing a little box, a donation box, or doing little raffles or things like that, and donating the money to us. It's just been so wonderful, the outreach of people saying, we know we're helping women in our local community who need financial support.
So people out there today, if you have cancer, there's somebody watching today. I know there is, Bonnie.
Oh, it's huge. The numbers are amazing.
Somebody needs to hear this message today. And I just felt, I have this little TV show in Bethel Park, and it goes out to a lot of people, and I don't know who it helps. Sometimes I do hear back from people, but I feel that people like yourself and me, that we have this opportunity, this grand opportunity to get messages out to people, and that's I'm so thankful that you came here today. And I know that you have you give money for the wigs and with hairpiece, but what are these little
Absolutely, sure. There are other ways for people to help. We have a card ministry, and so the women that agree to be prayed for.
This is at your church?
No, it's for anybody.
Oh.
You can be on it, Susie.
Okay.
So anybody who's a good prayer,
Okay. Oh, I'm a good prayer.
All you have to do is let me know. And so, so we have the women to get the assistance. First of all, people call me, and it's 412-327-5177. That's my cell phone.
Okay.
I keep
you can look right into there and give them your number.
Okay.
Just give them your number.
412-327-5177. That's my number. And I probably won't answer, but and when you call that, leave a message. When's a good time to call you? And when I'm not working at KDK, I will call you back and talk to you. Make sure we can get you the money, and if you have a salon that you already have that you've talked to, we can send that money directly to them. It's very easy that way, so that'll be taken care of. Or if you've already paid for the wig and you can give me the receipt, then I will send the money directly to you. So that's very easy to do. But during that conversation, I find out not only that you need the money, but you also what's going on, and I can say, oh, here's how you're going to feel when you go through chemo. Here's some things to help you out.
Oh, so you can actually help them with the personal
little... yeah, there's a lot of great information. And we have a support group. And speaking of Bethel Park, we have a group that meets every month in the North Hills. That's been going on for several years at Ingomar Methodist Church. That's at our church. And it's the third Wednesday of the month. And we have speakers come in, teach us things we can learn to fight cancer, about food, relaxation, getting rid of stress, all kinds of things that you can do. So that's part of that. And
so they don't have to go through cancer alone. You have a support group that women can connect with.
So we've got that in the North Hills. We just are starting one in the South Hills now. Second Tuesday of the month at 7:30 in the evening, and it's at Christ United Methodist Church, which is on Highland, right near South Hills Village.
Oh, okay.
Big church there.
Yeah.
So they are allowing us to have a room there. It'll be our women's group there, support group open to any women, any woman. It doesn't have to be someone with cancer, but it's cancer driven.
Like if their husband has cancer or somebody in their family?
Well, if you have a friend who has cancer, or my mother has cancer but can't get out, and I want to be a part of a group and find out what you survivors are doing, what you warriors are doing, and to learn something. So we have a different speaker every month. So we put together this book. It's called the Warrior's Guide.
Oh.
So we cross out the word survivors, and we put in warriors. So
you're
the Warrior's Guide. And so
I love it.
So the women I talk to on the phone, we will send them the Warrior's Guide, and it's got information from my best speakers. So it's got different things about food, glossary of terms.
And you just send that out to people?
Benefits of exercise. I send this to every woman that I speak to.
This is wonderful.
Along with this book called You're Never Alone, Prayers to Get You Through Cancer.
Please call the number. This
is a great book. This is so wonderful. Written by a local woman.
Oh my gosh, if you're struggling with cancer and you really don't have a support group, you really need to call Bonnie's organization, Hairpiece. And Bonnie, how has cancer, I wanted to ask you, like before you had cancer, was your life different? Did you think differently than you do now? Is there anything different that you would say?
Well, I never dreamed I'd have cancer, especially at 46.
Wow.
And I never dreamed I'd start an organization that was a nonprofit. This was never in my plans. I had no clue anything like this was going to be something I had. However, God has a plan, and He can take something that seems very dark and very tragic, and turn that into something that's bright and light. And we live in a very imperfect world. It's just the way it is. And I say, God doesn't give you cancer, but He can help you get through it. And it's an opportunity. So you take something that's happened to you, and you can change that, and with an attitude of life, not death, and that we win no matter what. And even the women that I speak to who are stage 4, and there's not much time left, those women that I speak to, those wigs can be so important because they still want to look pretty and beautiful and be able to be comfortable.
Feel like a woman.
But those are the women that the conversation is, when we're gone here, and I don't know that I need to tell anybody this, but we're all going to go someday.
Yeah.
But whatever,
no news here.
Whatever happens, in the end, cancer does not win. We do not lose to cancer. We don't lose our battle to cancer. Our body can lose, but our souls do not. And we win because there's no such thing as no hope, because we go to a wonderful place where God is there with the banquet, and He says, you want that sugar now? It's okay. Let's have a good time, and let's enjoy, and there's no enemy. There's no cancer. There's no worries. It's wonderful. So with that in mind, cancer cannot win in the end. And so that's the huge message that you need to keep in mind. Now, everybody wants to go to heaven. Nobody wants to go today. But sometimes, we have to focus on that and find out what's really important in life. So we have these beautiful prayer quilts at our meetings, at our support groups. We have people that have a gift of making them, and they make them for our survivors, our warriors. And so you come to the meetings, we pray them up, you take them to chemo, they're lap quilts, and they are a reminder that we are in this together, and you have a community of love. These are knots that we put in there, and we tie these knots and say a prayer. So these are prayer knots in these blankets. These are some of the cards that people make, and they send them out to you. If you're going through cancer, and on a day when you feel alone, when you're not, when you're just struggling, God knows that's the day that you need to get these, and we are instruments to be able to say, we're going to send these out, and we're going to send these to the women that you have that want to be prayed for, and you send these cards out, and it's awesome.
Well, I love your message. I love that you're a warrior, and that you're not giving up, and that you're showing other women that there is hope, and that is key. If there's hope, and then with, I don't know, I just think that if you lost all your hair in the shower, that it would be traumatic, and just to be able to have that wig, and you make that possible for people who can't afford an expensive wig. And
it's just one way that we can make a difference in the battle, just to let people know that there are, cancer can take your life, it seems like, for a year, or sometimes, you have a diagnosis that says treatable, not curable. So it's always going to be a struggle. However, we are going to give you an opportunity to know you're not alone, to know that we're praying for you, to know that we're with you, and to know that we can support you in one way with that wig. There are women that have said to me, my son said to me, don't come to my basketball game because you look like an alien.
Oh.
Now, that's really hard, but it's a fact. Kids are very visual. They don't want it to be about my mom. They want to be embarrassed. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to play basketball. So that's how important this stuff is.
It's so important. And it just, I really thank you for coming on the show. And
you're welcome.
I do. And I want you to come back, and we'll put all of your information at the end of the show. That way, I know there's somebody out there watching today that has a friend or a relative, or maybe themselves, that they're fighting the battle, and they're going to turn the show on, and they're going to see that there is somebody out there that cares. And
absolutely.
And Bonnie Diver, you really have done a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and we've got a great message. We've got a lot of people who want to help, and please go to our website and you'll find a lot of good information.
Okay.
We even tell you what to expect when you go into the wig salon, which I had no idea when I did that, what to expect, but we have what to expect, what it's going to be like, so at least you have a little bit of ammunition when you walk in and you don't feel totally vulnerable.
And what is your website again, address?
It's Hairpeace, P-E-A-C-E, peace like the peace sign, .org, O-R-G.
Okay, so hairpeace.org.
Yes, and you can sign up for the newsletter there. I do an e-blast newsletter,
okay,
and it has information about what we're doing, about who our speakers are going to be at our support groups, activities that are going on, and it's a great way to connect to me and say, just reply, and it comes right back to me. We keep this so simple. I mean, we're not spending money on, crazy things.
This is great, and I really like that you send information out to the people. That it's so scary when someone gets a diagnosis, but you're doing everything right to help people. I really appreciate it, and thank you so much for coming on the show today.
You're welcome. Okay. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to?
Well, all it takes is a phone call, and do it sooner than later. And because there's an awful lot of great information, I can help get a perspective of what's going on. I can talk about, what to focus on, what's going on. I mean, it's very important.
Thank you, Bonnie.
Oh, thank you
Thanks
very
for being
much.
on the show. And so that's about it today. I just hope that everybody enjoyed listening to Bonnie and about her charity, her Hairpeace charity. It's hairpeace.org. So get on the website. If you're having problems, you've been diagnosed with cancer, or you have a friend that needs help. So thanks again, and remember, take the challenge and commit to be fit.
So we have a very powerful 30-second PSA that was done for us by Women in Film and Media, and I'd like for you to watch this to wrap up the show, just to give you a preview of what it's like to have hair loss due to cancer.
Losing your hair can feel like losing everything. Hairpeace helps raise funds to provide wigs for cancer patients in need of a little support and confidence.
One of the high points of my life of going through this whole cancer thing was being able to receive the Komen Survivor of the Year award in 2010.
Really?
So at the Race for the Cure, I was on stage and spoke to the 30,000 people who were there, and told them that faith, not fear, was the way to fight cancer, and it was really a great honor to receive that at that time. So it was awesome.
Wow, that is awesome. Congratulations, Bonnie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am Joan Rivers with an important announcement. Getting old is horrible, okay? Horrible.
You're not old. I mean, you're older, but you're not old.
You want to say old?
Oh, gosh.
Yes. Grow up, for goodness sakes. The last man to hit on me was an undertaker. I know where
I don't want to talk about
Well,
this,
you're going to
Mom.
have to talk about it. It's the future. It's coming right at us. And I'm not worried about dying. It's getting there. I mean, heaven is going to be fabulous. It's going to be a giant shopping mall, and there's going to be 20% off on everything, except for me, 44.
You know, you're doing jokes, and I'm just not ready.
Well, you have to be ready. You have to listen to me. Look, there are things to discuss. They're going to be my needs. They're going to be my wants.
You know, Mom, I don't want to hear this. I just don't want to hear this. La, la, la,
Don't give me la, 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 la,
I
la.
don't. I can't. I can't do
Talk
this.
to your family about aging, even
No.
if they're not ready to listen. Come on, listen to me. Listen to me.
For the first time?
Yes, for the first time.
No matter who you are, it's not easy talking about aging. For help, go to voa.org/talk.
My name is Amanda. I'm 21 years old. I have lots of friends that use tanning beds that lay out in the sun all the time, and I tell them about Jamie. Jamie was in her early 20s when she was diagnosed with melanoma, and she died right before she turned 30. People think tanning is safe. I don't think it's safe. You could die just like Jamie did.
This message is brought to you by the American Academy of Dermatology.